mocks were a developer response to the pain of having to keep writing fake stubs and dummies. And mocking frameworks allow you to write dummies, they allow you to write fakes, they allow you to write stubs, but they also then went, hey, we can also write really complicated things that have whole protocols built into them and have got pattern matching and reflection and domain-specific languages to allow it to all read in a fluent API-type style. They're really powerful, but the message that I have learned painfully is use that as little as possible, because the core value for my tests is that they should document the software. And to be able to document the software, they need to be understandable. And as soon as you start heavily relying on mocking frameworks, understandability just disappears. When you try and have work, you know, I've seen setup in tests which is 2 or 3 pages of code just setting up half a dozen mocks. I have no idea what those tests do, and actually neither do the people who wrote them. So mocking can be useful, but it can give you, it can complicate your code and makes it harder to understand, but also it can give you a false sense of security. So it gives you a false sense of security and can make a terrible mess. Now the false sense of security comes because if you write this mock, you're saying, I know how that system that I'm mocking out behaves. How do you know that? How do you know it hasn't changed? How do you know you were right in the first place? So the trouble with mocks is that you're making an assertion that you understand how it will behave, and in reality, we only have a limited and partial understanding of how our external components really behave in totality. So J.B. Rainsberger, again, has got a nice a piece of advice, which, again, is not a cheap piece of advice, but is a really wonderful one. And he talks about contract and collaboration tests. So he says that he describes the tests that we write as collaboration tests.